The next day, while Lorenzo is working in the garden, Pampa sits nearby reading a book. Lorenzo glances at her, lost in thought. Shortly after, Pampa visits Lorenzo's room. Lorenzo quickly realizes the reason for her visit. As he begins to remove her veil, Pampa stops him, blindfolds him instead, and declares that she wants to marry him. Then she kisses him. Later, a carriage arrives at the convent to take Pampa away because Prince Mark has arrived. However, Pampa, unwilling to leave Lorenzo, tells the Mother Superior that Lorenzo is neither mute nor deaf. The Mother Superior asks how she knows this, and Pampa explains that she heard him singing in the garden. To confirm, the Mother Superior approaches Lorenzo and whispers in his ear, "Your ear is cut." Startled, Lorenzo shouts in surprise. Realizing he has been exposed, Lorenzo quickly pretends it is a miracle that he can now speak and hear. The Mother Superior, unimpressed, expels him from the convent. As Pampa prepares to leave the convent, Lorenzo begs her to take him along. The two depart together. Meanwhile, Prince Mark stops by a pond for water and sees a beautiful woman bathing. Intrigued, he asks, "Are you human?" The woman replies, "I am a mermaid." Mark confesses his love for a girl named Pampa. The woman then reveals that she is Pampa, marking the beginning of Mark's love story. Meanwhile, Pampa and Lorenzo arrive at a church. Pampa asks Lorenzo if he loves someone, and he replies, "Yes, but I haven't seen her face yet. She kissed me once." Pampa then asks Lorenzo to close his eyes and try to remember if she is the girl he wants to kiss. As they lean in for a kiss, Jonathan suddenly appears. Pampa urges Lorenzo to flee, but Lorenzo decides to stay and face Jonathan. Jonathan attacks Lorenzo and beats him severely. As Jonathan is about to kill him, Pampa intervenes, declaring that she will never marry Jonathan if he harms Lorenzo. Reluctantly, Jonathan spares Lorenzo but has him imprisoned. A few days later, Pampa tells Jonathan she will marry him only if he frees Lorenzo. Furious but determined to marry her, Jonathan agrees. However, Pampa has no intention of marrying him and uses this as a ploy to save Lorenzo. Pampa secretly meets a fake priest and explains the situation. The priest agrees to help her. Meanwhile, Jonathan orders two soldiers to take Lorenzo far away, but Lorenzo outsmarts them and heads back to find Pampa. On the day of Jonathan's wedding, the fake priest deliberately delays the ceremony by asking ridiculous questions. He eventually demands that Jonathan show his hands. When Jonathan complies, the priest comments on how dirty they are and insists he wash them. Furious, Jonathan washes his hands and returns, only to threaten the priest with a sword. At that moment, Prince Mark arrives with Lorenzo. Together, they confront Jonathan and overpower him. Jonathan attempts to flee, but Lorenzo fights him and eventually pushes him into a well. Pampa then approaches Prince Mark and tells him she cannot marry him. Mark is shocked. When Pampa reveals her face, Mark says, "You are not the Pampa I met at the pond." Just then, another Pampa appears, revealing the mix-up. As the chaos settles, Lorenzo begins to walk away. Pampa stops him, asking, "Where are you going?" He replies, "I am going to find the girl who kissed me, and I will marry her." Pampa asks him to close his eyes and then kisses him. Lorenzo immediately recognizes her as the one he has been searching for.